Um, why why does your generation think that just because you have given us the world that's all you need to do?
Well, I think too, Matthew, and that's a good question. When we do that and when we say that, Matthew, a lot of times my generation, men, don't know how to love, you know? We know how to be a provider. We know how to be a protector, but we don't know how to love, you know? And when we say that, is Matthew, you got to go back another generation prior to mine. You know, they didn't have time to cuddle us, to love us, because they were fighting for their lives, you know, on a daily basis, you know? I remember how my dad used to say, you know, walking to school, he had to walk through a white neighborhood. And while walking through a white neighborhood, he had to run for his life because they threw rocks at him every day. But in order for him to go to school, guess what? He had to do that, you know?
Yeah.
And so because of that, those things, because of the previous generation, what they had to deal with, meaning survival, just to make it, you know, they didn't have time to, you know, when I get a family, you know, they're more like, hey, let me provide for my family. Let me make sure that they have the protection. Let me make sure they have food on the table, you know. So the parents work hard, you know. The mother's usually at home taking care of the kids, raising the kids, if it's a two-parent household, you know. And so and here we go. So if the mother's at home and the father's working,
Yeah.
so when they
Where's the nurturing?
okay, now let's go a step further. Now let's take it up to the 70s and 80s when that relationship split. Who kept the kids?
The mom.
The mom. Okay, what did the dad do? I don't think that dad knew what to do, which continue to work, but yet he still provide by sending money. But he never had that bond with those kids, you know. And so what's going to happen over time? That mother became that father and mother raising those kids. But she couldn't do it by herself. And if she did do it by herself, guess what? She didn't have time to be a nurturer because she's working all the time, okay? And then when she did do anything, it was most like a disciplinary type of thing, you know?
So what I hear you saying is that your generation gives us the world because that is how you show love.
Right, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And what I'm saying, as speaking for the younger generation of black men, is that just because you give me the world doesn't mean that that is how I receive love.
Right, Matthew.
You know what I mean?
You're right. You're right.
And I think those are also which disconnects us as black men from generation to generation,
Right,
is
Matthew.
that you all have your own way of loving, but you never ask us how we want to be loved.
Right.
You know? And so we assume that you don't hear us,
Oh, wow.
that you don't
This is deep.
that you don't
I like this.
that you don't like value us because you don't want to take the time to really know us.
Right.
That's what we assume. That's what we make up in our head.
Right.
But that's not like to discount what you guys have done.
Right.
You guys have done great things.
Right, man.
You know, and we're able to do what we've done because of what you guys have done.
Right.
The black men who are in homes, who are fathers.
Right, Matthew.
So this doesn't discount your work, but there's still some damage.
Oh, yeah.
You know
No
what I
doubt
mean?
about it. And it's on both sides, too, Matthew.
Yeah.
On both sides.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. What are you curious to know about this generation?
Well, I think you said it most, Matthew, is what are you trying to get from that father figure, you know? What do you want?
Yeah.
How do you let them know that you're a great provider, but I need more, you know?
Yeah.
How do you...
I think what happens, especially with black men and black boys, is that we just want to be, not only do we want to be heard and seen, but every now and then we just want a hug. Jason Wilson, who's somebody I greatly admire as far as a man who's doing work to heal the black man, he says that sometimes how he creates to make space for his son is that every now and then, it's probably more now than it was later, but every now and then he just goes in his son's room and he sits. His son don't have to ask him to be in there. His son doesn't have to doesn't have to have a conversation need to happen. He just goes in there. He may be reading a newspaper and his son may be playing a video game, but he goes in there and sit with his son. And that's it. Mm-hmm. Because what he has noticed is that him sitting in there with his son creates a pattern in his son's head that his daddy is going to be there.
Wow.
So that when situations arise, heartache arise, maybe a heartbreak or whatever, that's the first source he goes to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I just think about that. First of all, it kind of makes me probably emotional to think about because the level of of intentionality that takes as a dad, as a black man, to do that for your son. I've never had that. I've never had a man that was my dad or like a dad to be that intentional.
Right.
Now, I don't want to discount the people who have raised me because they did a really good job.
Right.
Don't hear what I'm not saying.
Right.
But as I've gotten older, my needs have changed as a black man.
Right.
And I wish I had more of those vulnerable times with the black man in my life.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So